Okay, I set out to make somewhat funny and overall positive videos about games that I liked, and games that I may not have liked as much. But since I'm an asshole, I'm quickly realizing that it's pretty hard to make jokes about a game I unironically love. So here goes, I guess. I love Another Crab's Treasure. This game serves as a fun and charming introduction into the Souls-like genre. If you're unaware, Souls-like games are deeply punishing action RPGs where you're effectively strapped to a chair and beaten senseless by a sadistic Japanese man until you either learn to dodge his punches or you grow a strong enough head to break whatever he's beating you with, all while surrounded by depression. But Crab Souls is a much lighter introduction into the genre, almost like a love child between Crash Bandicoot and Dark Souls. But it certainly learned a lot from its more punishing and grumpy father, leaning away from the brutal punishments while not fully buying into the whole gentle parenting thingy. Lies of C looks to be aiming to be the introduction into Souls-likes for anyone not ready for the full punishing experience. The fights here are abundantly fair, and the difficulty, unlike a lot of other Souls-likes, is, let's say, adjustable? So let's talk about that. Unlike your traditional Dark Souls, you only have to worry about 4 stats: HP, resistance, attack, and magic. But I'm gonna be honest, it really only is just attack and magic that matter. I'll talk more on this later. Your armor and spells are rolled into one thing, your skills are cheap and easy to get, and your stowaways/accessories are abundant. Some might say that it's too dumbed down, but some might also say, eat my ass. That makes the game so much more accessible so many other people can actually enjoy this kind of game. In fact, I don't really understand why people are elitist about difficult games. Dude, just let people enjoy things. It's so much nicer to go about life with less negativity rather than more. Shellkiro, I'm very fond of these dumb names, have fully committed to being less frustrating than its abusive father, to the point of implementing an assist mode, which, while not recommended, gives newcomers some much needed breathing room to actually, quote-unquote, get good, as the kids call it. You can get bigger and beefier, thicker and stronger, faster and invincibler, nimbler and other adjective, and gun. I mean, God, if I had that last option in other games, I might not have a small mountain of broken controllers collecting dust in a box labeled broken garbage, but it's tech, so I feel like I have to hold on to it or it's a waste for some fucking reason. Though honestly, I only really used the gun once. Okay, twice. But it was only for science, and not because I'm bad at the game. Well, while I'm here huffing that copium and excusing skill issues, I will say that the game itself never actually felt unfair in any way. They even give you little indicators of what sort of attack is getting thrown at you. At least in my experience, if I died, I always felt like it was my fault, and not because the game screwed me. With that said, there are some times the game will push you to change the way you play, making some strategies harder, which seems a little contradictory to the accessibility thing I just talked about, but the margin for error for things like dodging or parrying is surprisingly large, even without assist mode on. The movement and combat are extremely tight, as a Souls-like game should be, because otherwise you're the Surge, and you never want to be the Surge. The dodges are quick, the combo is cancelable until the last swing, which I did learn the hard way. Or not. Although my goal is to be positive about the game, I do want to bring up a small complaint here. In my playthrough, I naturally built into high attack and magic with very little health or resistance. This did make the early game a little rough, but honestly, as the game went on, all the bosses became almost trivial. In fact, the last 5 bosses all fit into these last 3 recordings, which totaled about 2.5 hours. All that being said though, the game is still somewhat difficult, especially for inexperienced players. But Aggro Crab clearly didn't want it to be completely brutal to play through casually, and I think it would have been a massive mistake if they did so. The game has an important, if not very played out message, which I guess brings us to the story. It's good. I don't know what else you want from me. It has the charm of a direct-to-DVD Disney movie, and the dialogue is straight out of a classic cartoon. You know, the ones with lots of adult jokes sprinkled in that would go over your head as a kid, but now watching back makes the show 100 times funnier? While the excellent voice work is also very much inspired by these old cartoons, and really worked to solidify the quote-unquote vibe of the game.
My God! If I'm not mistaken, this is part of a map! A map showing the way to a most valuable treasure, I say.
The old man is old, the douchebag is douchey, and the caring mother figure is caring and motherly. I have no other way of describing it. They also got some fun visual jokes if you pay attention, like on the boxes you jump on.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
So with all this charm, you'd think that it's pretty obvious that it's just a light, quirky crab adventure, right? No, you fucking brainlet. Have you been paying any attention? What about anything you've been looking at and hearing would even suggest that? The mask of a cute, charming crab game is flimsier than your 5-year-old's homemade Halloween mask. No, Timmy, it looks great. I'm sure it won't fall apart the second anyone so much as looks at it, little idiot. Spend any amount of time looking at your surroundings, or any amount of time thinking about the game. You'll notice a lot of the horrifying shit that we've done to the ocean. I mean, damn, they use microplastics as currency. You can't really get more on the nose than that. That said, aside from the horrifying reality of the garbage, I do really love how all the trash seems to be repurposed in interesting ways, such as being used as weapons, which all at least keep a modicum of sense. Until we run into whatever the fuck this is. Goddamn laser beam shooting crabs. What the hell is this? No, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. No. No, I don't want it. 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 I know it sort of contradicts the point of the video, but why is it that everything seems to be at least somewhat grounded until this? The rubber bands are like bows, hooks do damage when you get smacked, the party poppers still kind of make sense as cannons, so like, why does an old-timey handset let these guys shoot lasers? Am I overthinking it? I don't know, I guess we also have spent shotgun shells that still shoot, and just straight up magic. So I guess I am? Well, besides that, everything is just absolutely fantastic. The story is unserious and uncomplicated, and it doesn't need to be serious or complex. An uncomplicated story told in an unpretentious way is somewhat of a rarity now, and I appreciate the hell out of that. Sometimes it's okay to have a simple story and a simple delivery. Not everything needs to be Shakespeare. And even with how uncomplicated the story is, it still does have at least a few layers, because you play as a very selfish character, which kind of brings a small amount of extra dimension to the narrative without actually muddying anything with the main story. And now that I'm writing this, I'm realizing that the selfish thing might actually just be a dumb joke of selfish and shellfish, which, for the record, is very, very dumb, but it's also very, very funny to me. Now, I won't spoil anything, not that there's really much to spoil, but there is something notable I do want to mention. Now, early on, you come to know about a trash day, where the trash island that floats across the ocean deposits some of its contents onto a city. In the game, it's framed as something very, very positive, which kind of really illustrated how fucked up it all really is. And that's some goddamn good writing. Framing something so objectively horrific as a good thing sort of makes you do a quick double take and has you thinking a little bit more on it. I'm sure, like a lot of you, I've seen my fair share of documentaries about pollution. Something about the game, though, really hit me differently, and genuinely had me thinking more on it by the time the credits rolled. And whether all of that is intentional or not, it definitely is, it has left a very good impression on me, and I will give props to the devs regardless. So, in this polluted backdrop, you go on your little bloodthirsty spree spurred on by taxes, which may just be the single most relatable plot point in any story. You explore a number of locations in the ocean, from shallow waters to a crab city, oil spills, and Orlando, reefs, and the deep ocean. These areas you explore are all very distinct in design, as they should be in a Souls-like, and are all lightly explorable for some loot. You find new outfits, new accessories, you find... Wait, muscle. Like muscle. Because it increases your attack. Oh my goodness. Am I just really easily amused? Am I just a fucking child laughing at anything put in front of me? I mean, I guess so. Anyway, the exploration in this game is quite limited, but I wouldn't really count that as a negative. It keeps things concise, and missing out on some of the loot isn't really a big loss. You might miss an accessory or some money, but you could easily do without any of it. So goddammit, I will give props again for not wasting my time and padding playtime. I feel like this shouldn't be a notable plus, but unfortunately, nowadays, It kind of is. The game is quirky, it's fun, sometimes difficult, and is overall the full package when it comes to an entry Souls-like title. It's a game that doesn't waste your time, and may even have you thinking more on pollution and the impact it has on our planet. Specifically, mostly corporations and their role in pollution, and to a much, and I cannot emphasize enough, much smaller extent, our role in polluting the oceans and the world. While it's not a masterpiece, to me, it is absolutely a must-play, even if you end up playing this like Call of Duty. Hey, this is post-production Leo. Thanks for watching the video the whole way through. The video ended up having a lot more serious things than I really set out to have, but I don't know. The game made me want to talk about the serious topics. I'm still ironing out the style of the video as well as my writing and just my ability to record something scripted, because this has been a challenge. But I also know if I kept trying to iron things out, I would actually never get anything done. So, you know, it is what it is. These videos will hopefully be on a monthly basis, but the style might shift a bit. I am still looking for other games to do, so if anyone has a suggestion, throw it in the comments. I also stream on Twitch almost every weekday at Leo_Rail.
Too late.
No, you didn't.
Claimed you already. Nope, claimed you already. Fuck you.
Damn, you know what? I'm gonna claim you then.
Oh my god!
And if I don't catch you there, hopefully I will see you around here next time.